This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
Today we visit a holiday market in Hungary, where UNN field messenger Nikki helps organize a local Christmas fair. The aim is to create a beautiful afternoon for families where they can learn more about local products.
Hi, this is Nikki, field messenger from Sarospatak, Hungary. We decided to organize a Christmas craft fair last Sunday to create an opportunity so that people can learn more about the products and producers in the area or nearby. It is a perfect example to show. Vendors at the fair sold products like honey, herbs, wicker baskets, trays, containers, cotton and rags, woven bags, Sarospatak-style pottery, ceramic ornaments, mulled wine, coffee with handcrafted delicacies, glass bead jewelry, handcrafted soap, ornaments, and many other products could be purchased as a beautiful Christmas gift for our loved ones. All afternoon, Ragdoll Bookshop, Paper Theater entertained children with winter tales and craft activities. The final event was a live concert with Christmas songs by a music teacher and his students. Here is a beautiful message for all of you. Happy holidays!
Christmas is a time for sharing and bringing joy to others. UNN field messenger Rick and his wife embrace the spirit of Christmas and visit seniors in their community.
Hello everybody, this is Rick with United Network News, reporting from Phoenix, Arizona. At this time of the year, my wife and I play Santa and Mrs. Claus, along with the Lions Club youth group, and we go into senior homes and provide Christmas cheer. Starting this weekend and through the 24th of December, we'll have gone into many homes and senior assisted living centers, and we'll have seen over 300 seniors. Also, each senior receives a Christmas gift containing all kinds of fun items for them. Having the ability to play Santa this time of year and bring love and joy to as many people as we can is highly rewarding. And I would encourage each and every one of you, whenever you do have that opportunity to bring that love and joy, to take it.
Larry, this is Santa. I hope you can feel my energy here.
We were told that Larry only had a few days to live, so this visit was extremely important and quite emotional for us. Have a great day. Reporting from United Network News, Rick Perkins, Phoenix, Arizona.
The Festival of Trees in Brownsville, Oregon is a local event that raises money for the community. UNN Field Messenger Kim shows us the beautiful Christmas trees for auction.
Hi, Kim here, United Network News Field Messenger here in Brownsville, Oregon for the Festival of Trees. And I'm really excited to share this wonderful little town with you. So here we are in the main street of Brownsville. I've been coming to Brownsville for the past 2 years, mainly to visit this little shop, the Stitching Parlor, a yarn store. I spoke to Sherry about the event.
Good afternoon. My name is librarian Sherry Lemhouse. I'm with the Brownsville Women's Study Club. Our club started in 1910 from the Presbyterian Brotherhood, who asked their wives to be on the committee. Never underestimate the power of a woman. We started the library. This club started the library in October 1911. And our club changed names in the 30s, and we started the Festival of Trees about 10 years ago. We took over from the Chamber of Commerce. Our club has about 25 members, so we had lots of volunteers to pull from.
And here's Jamie, the store owner of the Stitching Parlor. And here is the tree that she decorated for this Festival of Tree auction. Her trees are always popular and raise hundreds of dollars, mainly because of all the wonderful homemade decorations. And many of the ladies have been coming here for years. Then we went over to see Jenna Stidsman. Her tree was beautifully decorated by Leanne. And here we are in Isabella's Pioneer Market. The beautiful tree here is a living tree that can be planted in the garden after Christmas is over. So this is Field Messenger Kim signing off from Brownsville's Festival of Trees and wishing you all a peaceful and joyful Christmas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye for now.
Autoimmune diseases happen when the immune system accidentally targets the body's own healthy cells and tissues. Anyone can be affected, but these conditions are much more common in women. Scientists aren't entirely sure why, but they think it's likely due to a mix of hormones, genetics, and environmental factors. But there may be more to the story. Research shows childhood trauma can have long-term effects on health, even increasing the risk of autoimmune diseases later in life. A study in biopsychosocial science and medicine found early life stress can disrupt the body's inflammatory responses over time, raising the chances of hospitalization for autoimmune conditions. For example, women with autoimmune thyroid disease were more likely to have experienced emotional abuse or neglect as children. A 2018 study in the Journal of the American Medical Association linked PTSD to autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, Crohn's disease, and celiac disease. These findings reveal the profound impact early life experiences have on long-term health. This connection between emotional stress and physical health extends into adulthood, where societal expectations often perpetuate harmful patterns. In his book, The Myth of Normal, Gabor Mate explains how society's idea of, quote, admirable strengths can undermine health.
80% of autoimmune disease, which are diseases where the immune system attacks the body that is supposed to protect, 80% of them happen to women.
Why?
I knew people before they got sick, and I knew them in the context of their families of origin. And these people had 4 significant characteristics. One is they tended to put other people's emotional needs ahead of their own. Number 2, they tended to identify with duty, role, and responsibility rather than the needs of the self. Number 3, they tended to be very nice, which means they repressed healthy anger. And number 4, these people tended to believe that they're responsible for other people feel. Why is it women? Because who in this culture is programmed to always looking after everybody else's emotional needs, taking everybody's stresses, identify with their duties and their role, not be angry in a healthy way, and to take responsibility for other people's feelings. It's women. It's not a gender issue. It's a cultural issue.
Autoimmune diseases can be tricky. They often take years to diagnose, and even then, managing chronic symptoms can feel like an uphill battle. To make things more frustrating, flare-ups also seem to happen at the worst times, like during travel or stressful events. An autoimmune flare happens when symptoms get worse due to stress or extra strain, and the symptoms vary by disease. One important factor to consider is exposure to toxic chemicals. Research shows most people come into contact with a surprising number of harmful substances every day. Chemical exposure is far more common than many realize, and even short-term exposure to certain irritants can negatively impact your health. In time, these toxins can build up in your body. While the effects might not be noticeable right away, prolonged exposure can lead to more serious health issues and may even trigger autoimmune symptoms. Taking steps to reduce your exposure alongside adopting healthier habits can help ease symptoms and support overall well-being.
All of the autoimmune diseases are much more common in women than they are in men. Why is that? It's because the toxic chemicals in our environment that we're exposed to, the phthalates in nail polish or lipstick, these toxic chemicals that we're exposed to, they're called endocrine disruptors. They disrupt your hormone balance. And women have more hormone receptors or estrogens than men do. Men have some, but women have more. So you always want to reduce your body burden wherever you can. When you're going for nail polish, go for the nail polishes that are more natural, that are phthalate-free, that are chemical-free, because they are the triggers when you cross that threshold for the development of these autoimmune diseases that hit you in middle ages and in your senior years.
For those dealing with autoimmune symptoms, here are a few simple home remedies that might help. Try adding fish oil to your routine. It's packed with omega-3s that can reduce inflammation. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin D too, as it's essential for managing autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. Coconut oil is another great option. Massage it into your sore joints or add a few teaspoons to your diet for digestive benefits. Green tea is known for its anti-inflammatory properties, so sip a cup every morning to help calm your system. Turmeric, with its active compound curcumin, can reduce pain and swelling. Add it to your meals or enjoy turmeric milk. Ginger tea is another soothing remedy that can ease inflammation and digestive issues. And don't forget about cinnamon. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory you can drink or apply topically for relief. When choosing non-toxic self-care and household products, look for items with fewer ingredients to reduce the risk of reactions or autoimmune flares. Stick to products with simple, recognizable ingredients and avoid dyes or added fragrances, as these can trigger inflammation. Whenever possible, choose organic options to minimize pesticide exposure.
What I've found with people who've got autoimmune diseases, often it can be overwhelming to try to address all the root causes that are triggering the autoimmune response. One of the things I suggest as a way of focusing and not feeling like you have to change everything at once is to really begin with your food. So I think food is probably the most important strategy for dealing with autoimmunity. And if you think about it, your food goes through your gastrointestinal tract. There are places where you just have a single cell layer between the food that you're eating and 70% of your immune system. So I think getting focused with your food, having a well-designed elimination diet, that's the best place to start. So if you're feeling overwhelmed about all the different approaches to autoimmune disease, start with your food. Start with an elimination diet.
Managing an autoimmune disease can feel overwhelming, but small, consistent changes can make a big difference. Listen to your body, prioritize self-care, and explore remedies that work for you. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and every step you take toward better health matters. Let's talk about something that's sitting in our bathroom cabinets and on salon shelves. Hair dye. The bold colors, the subtle touch-ups, or that magical post-salon glow. It's all really tempting, I know. But what's really happening when we're chasing that perfect shade or touching up our gray roots? Whether you're dyeing at home or entrusting your locks to a stylist, it's time to pull back the curtain on some of the risks that come with using hair dyes. Hair dyes, no matter the type, come with their own set of chemicals. Temporary dyes usually coat the surface of your hair and are often more gentle, but that doesn't mean they're entirely risk-free. Semi-permanent dyes go a bit deeper, while permanent dyes use powerful ingredients to alter the hair structure and lock in the color.
So permanent hair color is mixed with a developer. It opens up the cuticle, which is the outer layer of the hair, and reacts with the cortex, which is the inner part of the hair. The cortex contains the melanin pigment that produces your natural hair color. Permanent color products lift out the original pigment and deposit new color that bonds to the hair. Permanent color can be used to lighten or darken, and it permanently alters the color structure of your hair. So semi-permanent dye, also called direct dye, is not mixed with a developer. Semi-permanent dye doesn't penetrate the hair shaft the way that permanent dye does. It pretty much just deposits color onto the surface of the hair and acts like a stain. This is why your foundation is so important when using semi-permanent color, because the dye is going to sit on top of whatever your current color is.
Permanent hair dyes rely on a mix of chemicals to give you that long-lasting color, but it's good to know what's in the mix and how it affects your hair. Ammonia is a big player. It opens up your hair cuticle so the color can seep in. While it's great for making the color stick, it can leave your hair feeling dry and a bit rough around the edges. Due to some bad press, many boxed hair dyes are now claiming they are ammonia-free. That's because they've replaced ammonia with another chemical called ethanolamine, which experts say is even more dangerous. Hydrogen peroxide, another common ingredient, works to lighten your natural hair color, making room for the new shade. The downside? It can weaken your strands and cause breakage if used too often. Then there's paraphenylenediamine, also known as PPD, and its cousins, which are responsible for those rich, deep tones. They're super effective, but they can trigger allergic reactions in some people, causing redness, itching, or worse. Resorcinol is another chemical that helps develop the color, but it's known to irritate the skin and eyes. All of these chemicals can be harsh on your hair and scalp. There are even some links to cancer.
If you're someone who dyes your hair, you're going to want to listen to this. A comprehensive study in 2019 was completed with over 50,000 different women in America to look at the possible correlation between breast cancer and dyeing your hair. These women were followed for over 8 years, and they were broken down even by ethnicity and different products used based on your ethnicity. What they found? Well, that white women who dyed their hair at least once a year had a 7% higher risk of a breast cancer diagnosis. For African American women, it was an increased 45% chance of breast cancer diagnosis.
Also, in September of 2024, an interesting case study was released out of France. A woman there experienced severe vision issues, like retinal detachment and blurry vision after using hair dye with paraphenylenediamine. Doctors linked the damage to the dye, and once she switched to a different product, her vision returned to normal within a month. While cases like this are rare, it certainly makes you rethink all the products you're using on your scalp. Hair dyes are regulated in many countries, but the rules vary depending on where you live. In the U.S., the FDA regulates hair dye safety, but its power is limited. The FDA doesn't approve individual ingredients before they're used in hair dyes, and manufacturers are mainly responsible for ensuring their products are safe. In the EU, hair dye regulations are strict, with safety standards regularly updated. Harmful chemicals are banned or restricted, and manufacturers must ensure products meet these standards and are properly labeled. It's important to check the labels and do your research, especially if you're using hair dye in countries with looser regulations. Natural hair dye products are a great option if you're looking for a more gentle, eco-friendly way to color your hair. More brands are offering plant-based dyes using ingredients like henna, indigo, and other botanical extracts to give you that vibrant color without the harsh chemicals. These natural dyes not only color your hair, but also nourish it, leaving your locks looking healthier.
It is time to dye my hair with henna and cover those grays. As you can see, I like to keep things pretty simple by just adding water. I cover that and I let that sit for about 5 to 6 hours. I absolutely love that henna permanently dyes your gray hairs. And before you guys come at me and say, oh, embrace the gray, I just want to say that I am obsessed with the red highlights that I get from having gray hair and dyeing it with henna. Before application, I'm going to put a little bit of oil so I don't stain my face, brush out my hair, and wet it a little bit. I am adding just a little bit of a hair oil that has some rosemary in it, and then I go in. And as we saw, I changed into a sweatshirt that has been destroyed by bleach, so I am using this just in case I get any henna on it. Sometimes I will just do my roots, but sometimes I like to do full coverage, and I just love the way it makes my hair feel. And then I'm just going to grab a little cotton with some oil to get off the excess henna, cover it with some plastic for about 4 hours. Make sure to condition your hair. After I shower, I like to always add a little bit of hair oil to the mids and ends of my hair, and then I'm going to wrap it in some heatless curlers. So this is the next day, and I absolutely love the color that it gives. I literally always feel like a whole new woman. Let me know what you guys think.
Choosing between natural or traditional hair dye depends on your personal preferences, hair health, and how much time or effort you're willing to invest in upkeep. Natural hair dyes are great for those who prioritize a more eco-friendly approach, but may require more frequent touch-ups and may not provide the same vibrant or long-lasting results as traditional dyes. If you're feeling adventurous and ready to embrace your natural hair color, going completely natural can be a liberating choice, letting your hair shine in its true form. Ultimately, it's all about what works best for you. Many of the world's lakes and rivers are so polluted, they're unfit for swimming and host very little natural wildlife. Urban development, farming, and pollution are sending harmful nutrients and contaminants into these waters. But there are simple, natural ways to help clean them up, and they are already at work in bodies of water around the world. Floating islands, or floating treatment wetlands, are one excellent natural solution for improving the water quality of lakes and rivers. This technology doesn't rely on chemicals or machinery, making it an eco-friendly option. Floating islands are small, man-made platforms for growing aquatic plants in deep water. The plant's roots grow down into the water, creating thick root systems with lots of surface area. These roots and the platform are home to microbes that form a slimy layer called biofilm. This biofilm does most of the work, removing nutrients and breaking down pollutants to help clean the water. Floating islands enhance the beauty of the lake, reducing the formation of algae and even minimizing evaporation by covering a portion of the water's surface. Maintenance can be a challenge for floating islands, with concerns like invasive species colonization or flooding if they become adrift. However, maintenance needs vary by project size. Small projects often require minimal upkeep, like weeding plants and checking or replacing anchors and cables occasionally. Another challenge is the lack of awareness about floating islands. Local officials may worry about plastic waste, even though the materials used are coated to prevent microplastics. These islands are used worldwide by governments, businesses, and environmental groups. Floating Island International reports about 10,000 of these systems have been launched globally.
The challenge here we're trying to solve is to bring life back into the river and regenerate it and provide some regenerative habitat that has a knock-on effect across the whole waterway. Over time, what can happen is these systems, these waterways, become very engineered and man-made, and they lack the natural cover that you get with green vegetation. And when you introduce this aquatic habitat, it begins to provide the starting point for other life to come back into that river again.
So the floating ecosystem works like a hydroponic structure. Essentially, it's got floats and stainless steel connection pieces, and it goes together like a Lego set. So this morning, trucks arrived and all the pieces came out, and we bolted them all together. We laid all the plants out in a nice planting pattern, and we planted it up, and then we launched it.
You know, look how many people we brought together to do a community service project. You look at, you know, what we accomplished today. You know, we protected, we advanced, and we respected the flow of water.
Floating islands have a variety of applications and benefits. They can help with water quality management, wastewater treatment, water restoration, stormwater control, and shoreline protection. In recent years, floating island technology has expanded to include innovations like floating solar panels and floating farms. These islands improve water quality, boost plant biodiversity, and provide public spaces for recreation. They also offer safe habitats for birds, help improve fish populations, and support sustainability by generating clean energy with floating solar panels. There are other effective methods to clean up our lakes and rivers, which is so important for keeping ecosystems healthy and protecting wildlife. An inspiring example comes from Marino Morikawa, a scientist from Peru. When he found out the lake he loved as a child was badly polluted, he decided to take action and restore it. Marino spent 6 months developing a unique technology and 4 months cleaning the wetlands. Along the way, he raised awareness in Peru and proved one person can make a big difference. Now he has a team of volunteers helping him clean local lakes.
This scientist is cleaning up Peru's contaminated lakes in just a few days using nanobubble technology. A Peruvian scientist, Marino Morikawa, has invented a low-cost nanobubble system made up of bubbles that are 10,000 times smaller than those in a soda drink. The polluted water is filled with these tiny bubbles. Once trapped in the bubbles, viruses and bacteria can no longer move and die, and the bubbles still reach the surface and evaporate it. Marino Morikawa used all of his savings, including a loan to save a wetland that he used to visit when he was a child, which had become a sewage dump when he returned after 20 years. Using the nanotechnology, he restored the wetlands in just 15 days, a process that usually takes 6 months. At least 40 species of migratory birds have returned to El Cascajo Lake, and 10 fish species have come back to inhabit its waters.
Floating islands and other natural solutions show we can clean our lakes and rivers while protecting the environment. They improve water quality, support wildlife, and even offer new ways to enjoy these spaces. Together, we can restore our waterways and create a healthier, more sustainable future. At UNN, you are the news. Get involved by joining our weekly Field Messenger meetings. Visit unitednetwork.earth to learn more. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me.